We're going to do a tour of my off-the-grid pottery studio. The electric is provided by these two panels. My wife's sewing studio. And now let's go into the pottery. This is the dashboard, you might say, for the solar setup. 1,000-watt inverter powers my Soldner half-horsepower potter's wheel. Radio, various lights. So here's finish work, mostly in local terracotta. And at the present time, a friend and I are getting ready for borigama firing. So doing some high fire clay work. Various chemicals and stains. Kitchen area. Work, some finished work. Terracotta drying up here, waiting to be fired. And these are high fire pieces waiting for the Noborigama. Little Bluebird pug mill. Great wedging table made from some kind of billiard table. Mugs, ceramic library. More finished work. Let's go outside and see the kilns, etc. Everything's pretty much off the grid, but I do use propane kilns now and then for the terracotta. It's pretty sensitive to be used with wood. I haven't worked that out yet. So this is a small propane kiln I'm experimenting on. Firing very unevenly. I've got to resolve that somehow. An old commercial gas updraft. Incredibly poorly designed. But I finally got it to fire evenly. Our water supply is from a well and roof. Sulphur Springs Valley. This is my salt Olson fast fire design salt kiln, wood-fired salt. And now we're going over to the clay processing area. I dig a local terracotta here in the mountains. Not right here, but not too far from here in the same mountain range. And I've got another video coming up of the clay process. So that's about it here. I'll go on later and do a little tour of the Noborigama. Over here is welding and general storage. Glaze mixing area. Looks like a disaster, but I do most of I don't use a lot of glazes. And when I mix them, I do it outside. So it's not quite the health hazard it appears. And there's my raw materials. And cones, all kinds of stuff stockpiled. This is another kiln area, about 100 yards up the road from the studio. And it features another fast fire made with local fired adobe bricks. Intended for earthenware, of course. I've never used it much, once or twice. And then over here is a Noborigama. Do a quick tour of that. Right now, a friend is doing a barrel firing right in front of the Noborigama. You can see right here. Almost done. Beautiful place to fire. Very efficient, this kiln. It's made with primarily 2800 degree insulating brick. So I've fired it to cone 13 in 13 hours. And of course, can be fired a lot slower for a better or different wood ash effects. I also salt it occasionally. So it's a little rough around the edges, but pretty good kiln, really. It's a it's based on so-called Ruggles and Rankin variation of a Noborigama. And last but not least, our Kiln Guardian. That's about it.